So yeah, so yesterday we have seen that working with Object Studio, that how to create object for any application, and how uh, object can interact with any application. Okay, am I audible? Is it good?
Yeah, clear, Nitin.
Okay, yeah. So as I told you that our hierarchy goes I just want to explain you that okay. So this is the Blue Prism's architecture. That this is my application. Okay, uh, we have business object. We have process, and this is my control room. Okay, so this is the architecture of Blue Prism. Okay, so only business object can interact with application. Process cannot directly interact with application. Okay, so for that process can interact through business object, and business object can interact with application. Okay, and in the same way business object cannot be directly interact with control room. So if I want to run any process in control room, so I can just only run processes, not the business object. Okay, so that's why we need this all things. So for interacting with application, I have to create business objects. Okay, and for using these business objects in my process, or connect them the all business objects, I need to use the process, and at the end I can call this process in my control room. Okay, so we have done with how to work with application and how to create the business objects. Okay, and today we will see about the process, that how can we use this business object in processes. Okay, yeah. So we have created some action, that sign in, select option, yeah, new order we haven't created, and some other launch and terminate. Okay. Alright. So as I told you that we will use this business object always with processes. So you can see that we have provided the username and password from here right now. But in real-time environment, we don't pass any kind of credential from the business object as well. Okay, we collect all the inputs in the process only, and from process we pass all the data to business object. So how to pass these variables? Okay, so for that we have, yeah, for every business process we can pass input parameters, and even we can return some output parameters. Okay, so output parameters always we used in and, because after completing this action, whatever result I am getting, I have to return it to process. So that's why we always write our output parameters in end stage. Okay, and for taking any input, because we want this username and password for starting my this action. Okay, so that's why we always take input variables in start. So I am creating two parameters here. two input variables. Here I will take the username. Okay, I need to create a type for it. This is my text type, and where I have to store this values. So I have already created the username variable. I will use it. Okay, and in same way I have to use password. Okay, and for that I have used the password data type. That is, I have created a variable name password. Okay, yeah. So I have given this both variables as my input variable. Okay, so this is, you can see that I have just initialized with this values, but when I will pass any other value from processes, it will get overwritten. Okay, so just save it. As I told you that you need to publish every action to use in processes. So I will do the same. I will publish this. I will publish my launch action. I will publish my terminate action. Right click and publish. And I will publish this action. And again, I'm publishing this section. Here I will get exception because I haven't connected. So I'm just connecting it. Okay. Yeah. So good to go. And just save it. Okay. So I have created a business object that is interacting with my order system application. And now I'm going to create a process. So for creating a process, you should go to Studio tab, click on process, right click and create process. Okay. Even you can do same thing. You can group any object, or you can create a group for particular business objects, or you can create a process group as well. Okay. Right now, hello. You're asking something?
Yeah, fine, carry on with it.
Okay. So in the same way, I have created business object. In the same way, I have to create my process. Just give it a name. Give it a description. Okay. As you can see that it's added here. Just double click on it. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see that there is no major difference in business object screen and the process screen. But sorry, yeah. But lot of stages are missing in our process because we don't need in process. As you can see that first of all, we don't have read and write stages in process because we don't need, because process cannot directly interact with any kind of application. That's why we don't need this stages in process. Okay, read, write and navigate. We don't have this stage in process. And again, wait is again we use always for waiting for any kind of element. So it interacts with the application only. So we don't need this stage and process. Okay. And yeah, some more things are there. Let me show you. Okay, so these are this is the difference majorly. It might be some more things here. Okay, yeah. So Same in way like as we have seen that we can create n number of action or pages in business object. In same way we can create any number of pages in process to divide it. Okay, so I'm just calling a new order. Okay, I'm creating a new page. Okay, and as you can see that one more difference is there. When we create a business object, we get two default pages. One is initialize and second is cleanup. But when we create a new process, the default page is main page. So whenever you try to run any process on from anywhere, it will run from main page only. Okay. Yeah. So now what I have to do that I have created different action, multiple action in my business object, and I need to connect all these actions with my process. So as I told you that for calling any kind of business object action, we use this stage, action stage. Okay. So my first step was to launch application. Okay. Here you can see that this is my business object, and I have published this all actions, so I can use it. First of all, it will launch the application. Just mention the name, launch. After that, my second stage is sign in. So then I will, okay. Yeah, here you can see that just because I have provided two parameters as input in sign in action, so he is asking me for username and password. Okay, for that I am just creating two variables here as well. As you can see that this showing me that it need the username in text data type. Okay, so I have to create in same way, otherwise it will mismatch. Okay, so I need to change as number because it's checking number, and I need to change in my business object. Okay, so here in sign in, okay, uh, I have to use it as number, and here as well I have to change it to number. Okay, need to save it. Click on reset, and now you will see that it's asking me for a number. Okay, so I can just pass this username, and I have to create another for password, and this is my in password format. I'm passing a password. Okay, and I have to provide this into my. Okay. Uh, Here I am just changing the value to show you that how it override this business object initialize value. So I'm changing value here. It's 23. Okay, and keep password it is as it is. Just click on save. Okay. So just And my next action is after just sign in, I have to select option is my next steps, and I will this select option. There I don't have any kind of input parameters. If I have any output parameter I want to see, then we can use this tab, input and output. Okay, so I'm running till there. Just connect to it according to flow. Okay, and now I'm running it. Okay, I'm just using step to show that how to change this values. Okay, so this is my launch action. Okay, I'm going to step in. As you can see that it was calling my business objects launch action. Okay, step in, it will launch it. It will go back to process. Okay, go to my next stage, that is sign in. And as you can see that the initial value of username is 23 showing, but I have passed this values from process. So when I click on, you see, it has overwritten that value which I have passed from process. So it will just log in. Okay, and this is my next stage, the select option. Okay, so it will again go to select option, option values, click on go, and this is my page. Okay, so I'm running it from here only to show you that how it works and how we have connected all the business object action. Okay, I'm just speeding it up. And yeah, okay. And lot of things are there. If we want to put any kind of condition, then again we can use the decision box. If we want to get some dynamic or variables to assign any dynamic values to a variable, then we can use a calculation and multi-calculation stages. Okay, so this all stages I have explained, and you can use in the process same way. Okay, any question in processes, or can we move to the next topic?
Uh, you'll have to find anything.
Okay. Okay. So again, we'll move to the next topic. Here you can see that we are providing the username and password from here. Okay, but we will complete the process and targeting, like when it will go to the production environment, you cannot come back to the development environment to change this credential, right? Or this is not recommended to provide any credential inside the business object or inside the process. Okay, so Blue Prism have a functionality to manage this credential, and that is Credential Manager. Okay, so on the home screen of Blue Prism, in System tab, you can see in Security, there are we have credentials. Okay, So here we can input any uh, credential, and we can give it a name. Like I'm just creating a new credential. I'm creating its process test CR. Just copy it. Okay, here I can provide username and password. You can see. Okay, and I have to provide access rights to it. That on which process I can use this credential. If I will not check any of this process, it will throw error that you are not you don't have any sufficient rights to access this credential. Okay, so I have to select this process, my particular process, in which process I have to use. Okay, so I'm clicking on process test that I want to use this credential on process test. Okay, I have to provide resources as well, that on which machine or which connected client I have to access this. Yeah. So this right now I'm selecting for all, and you have to select role as well. Okay, you can create any number of users and roles in the security users tab. Okay, I'll show you. Just let me select any role now and click OK. Okay, so I have created a credential. So in when I move it to a production environment or any other environment, I just need to change my variable here, not in any process or objects. Okay, and how to get these values? Okay, yeah. So for that, we have a Blue Prism internal business object, and we need to use it for that. Okay, so here again for I am providing some initial value that is different, and I will get that credential value which are in Credential Manager. So for that again I need to use my action stage. Okay, get credential. Okay, so for credential we have a internal business object. You can see, so credential internal business object. Click on that, and it's just a get prop action of it, and you have to pass that credential name here, which you have given as credential name. So I have given the process test CR. Okay, and it returns two values in output. Okay, so in I have to password, I have to store in password, and the username I have to store in username. Okay, so just because I have given the text data type as text, I have to change there in my credential manager. Let's add it. Okay. Okay, so it will take only. Okay. So right now what I want to do, I have to create another uh, okay, yeah. And I have to do a casting because I am retrieving the name as text, and I have to pass this as um, parameter as a number. So I will use some expression here. For using any expression, you can click here. Okay, and here in me see which section you have. Yeah, in conversion. I just need to create it to number, convert it to number, then not this. Okay, using click on to number and which string you have to convert. I'm using uname1. Okay, just click on paste. It will be written here. So you to validate it and to check that you are passing the right value and it is converting or not. So I'm passing like as a string. Okay. So in this case, if it is not allowing me, then I have changed to this variable as text only. Okay, and so I need to do some changes in my business object. Okay, I have to pass it as a text. Okay, and here I have to take it as a text. And here I'm using it as a text. Deleting it and in get credential I'm passing this username only because I have changed its data type. So now it will allow me. Okay, and I need to connect it and then sign in. Then because I'm using it. Yes. Yeah, now it's asking for text and I have to provide the username. Okay, so now just see. The initial value I have provided to username is 78 and I am getting this values from my credential manager. Now it's changed to 1. So I am retrieving these values from my credential manager. Okay, and then I need to do the same. Okay, any question regarding credential manager? Sorry, are
Yeah,
you asking
credential
something?
topic. Yeah, clear, clear credentials.
Sorry?
We can pass only like this kind of security, like any data we can pass there for credential manager. Yeah.
No, that I am showing you another thing. This thing is only for credential for username and password. If any application are using in business application using credentials, then you have to pass it here.
Yeah, it likes it's override like object to process, process to credentials.
Sorry?
Yeah, it's overrides like the data overrides like object to process, process to credential.
No, it's process to object, not object to process. Okay. Data overrides from credential manager to process and then process to object.
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Yeah. So when you create a first time, you need to create a security key. Okay. So because I have already created a security key, so it's disabled, right? So let me just delete it and create another one. Okay. So if I'm trying to create any credential manager credentials here, click on OK. Yeah, it will show me that error that no encryption or decryptor with the same credential key was found. So that's why first of all, when we are creating first time, we need to create a key. So click on key, click on generate, it will create a encryption key and save to database. And then if I'll create anything, then only I can use this credential. Okay. Yeah, is it clear?
Yeah, clear thing.
Okay. So moving to your next question, that if you want to provide any dynamic data that are getting changed, like if you are using any input file, okay. For the development environment, I have created a folder in D drive, and as a D drive, I have given the process name, and then I'm creating an input folder. They take the input file from this particular folder, okay. But when I'm moving to production, and I don't have the D drive there, okay, and I have to pass that input file from the C drive and input, then again I need to change to go to, I have to go to my process and I need to change that particular variable from here, okay. But that's not again good thing. So Blue Prism have this kind of feature that is called environment variables, okay. So environment variables is like a configuration variable, which things are which thing can be dynamic in a production or development environment. This all variables you have to set here. So just suppose I have to use this file, okay, orders new. I am just creating here, okay. So I have taken a variable and call is my input file path, okay, and I have provided its text. So suppose in my development environment, I am getting this from desktop path, okay, and I have published and I have, but this is not like this is not the static path, because when the environment get changed, when you are moving to development environment to production environment, that will be changed definitely, okay. So this kind of variable we have to create as a environment variable, okay. So how can we change this, or how can we take any data from there? So in Blue Prism, in system tab again, in the process or in the objects, you can see the environment variables and environment variables. Actually, they both are same. They have there is no separation like environment variables are for object are different and environment variables are process for different. You can just create in any section, okay. Both are same thing. So what I need to do, I need to add a variable, okay. I am giving a name like input file path, okay. I have to provide a data type here. This is my text, okay. And here I am giving this path. I am just copying it, okay, and click on apply, okay. And how to use this variable in my process? I just need to go to any process or object wherever I'm using this environment variable. As you can see that whenever we create a new data item, we have some properties here. So if you can see that exposure, okay. So we have a different kind of exposure here, okay. So for that we need to use environment, okay. So when I select the environment, it will show me all variables which I have created as environment variable. Just give me 1 second. need to reset again. Okay, so I'm selecting as environment, and now you can see that we have created two environment variables, and this both is showing me here. Okay, so this is my right now I have created input file path. So you can see that, let's click on reset. Okay, you can see that it's taking this path from environment variable. So order new .csv. So just let me change there. Like if in production environment my path gets changed, so I just need to change here. So I'm taking it C desktop, and the file name is input.csv. Click on apply. So you can see it gets changed here. Okay. So the main use of environment variables, like whichever value are can be dynamic on changing the environment, we have to take this variables as a environment variable. Okay. Yeah. So any question regarding this, or can we move to next topic?
Yeah, Nitin.
Yeah.
That you told input the data. So development and that different files you shown are the desktop files.
Uh, okay.
Yeah, we are passing that data for Excel only, Excel only, no? So on development side, Excel is different, and production side, Excel is different. Like username,
Okay.
password, everything different. So like we are
Yeah.
calling that data from Excel sheets only, CSV files.
Um, No, that again situation like what they do in the real-time environment. Okay, they provide the test environment and all the test application and every application in test environment. So credential are very different in test environment, and we move to the production environment. Okay, so one time they yeah, it again depends on them that they are providing any credential in by Excel sheet, or if they are providing by Excel sheet, then you have again to write a process to update that credential in Credential Manager as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So one more thing that the looprism works on like what is the separation if five developers are working. Okay, then if we are using the same database, because everything we are creating in any business object or any process, whatever we are creating or just saving it, it's just saving in a database, a SQL Server database. Okay, so if five developers are working on same process, okay, or on same database, they are sharing the same database, then they are able to see all this process and objects. If like if I have created this order system business object, and you are sharing the same database. Okay, so even you are able to use this all features. But at one time, what we are doing, time only one user can work on any process or business object. So as you can see that right now I am using this process test, so its log sign is there. So any other user cannot use it. Okay. Yeah. So, but in some ways, if two people are using different machine and they are not sharing database as well, but I need to give this process or this business objects to him to, or I have to transfer this business object to any other machine, then we have some option here to export and import. Okay. So suppose I just want to share this business object, or I just want to copy this business object to any other machine, then in file option we have export, and I can export either this page only, this sign in page, or I can export this whole process. Okay, so it will get saved in a XML file. So just for test I'm just saving it BPA BO test, I'm saving it desktop. Okay, so here you can see that my full task get yeah, it's only XML file. Okay, and on any other computer if I want to import it, I can just use it's my Blue Prism home screen, go to file menu, and I can import. I have to select this business object here because right now it is already created here. I am not able to, yeah, it will giving an error that you need to override the existing business object with the incoming business object. Okay, so I don't want to, don't import this object now. Click on next and finish. Okay, so in that way you can transfer any business object to business object, or any process or any page. If you want to particular page you want to export, then you can do it. Okay, so this how works the imports and export and import. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the next topic I'm taking is the exception handling, and this is very important because whatever we are doing, there are a lot of chance to get exceptions. So we need to handle the exceptions properly. Okay. So suppose I have 10 records. Okay. Yeah. So suppose I have this 10 to 20 records and I have to work on each records. Okay. And board should not stop till the end. If any of the record is pending, the bot should not stop. Okay, it should stop only after completing this all transaction, all 20 records processed. Okay, so suppose I am getting I am getting any kind of exception on my first record and the bot get stopped, then this I am not able to work on this process as well. But according to RPA, if you are working in RPA, it should be like this. You have to handle every exception, and bot should stop only on one condition, that he has completed all the work given to him. Okay. In any other case, it should not stop. It should work continuously. Okay. So for that, I just want to just suppose I am calling a launch action here. Okay. Get the credential. Okay. Okay, so my key get changed and I have to create it again because I have deleted that key. I'm just copying it. Yeah, because I have changed the encryption key, it was not allowing me to decrypt that credential. So that's why I need to recreate it or delete it. I need to recreate it. Okay. Oh, I have to provide the access here. Just let see this. If I am not providing any access here, okay. Yeah, it will throw an error that you don't have permission to access the credential. Okay. So that's why I have to provide the permission to him. Permission to that credential. I just need to edit it. Access. I'm creating for all now. Okay. Okay. So suppose I have launched this application. Okay. Okay. And my next step is to sign in. But suppose in some condition the window is not appeared in any case, so I'm just closing it. Okay. So when I'll go to here, it will wait for 10 seconds as I have given. Okay. And as you can see that it's giving me some error that the window is the application is not connected. Okay. So I got this exception and my bot stopped here only. Okay. So I'm not able to process any of the record, but according to RPA, it should not happen. This is wrong. Okay. So for that, we have to handle the exception. So let me do it one more time because okay. Okay, so I'm just moving to another screen rather than closing it. Yeah. Yeah. So it will wait for 10 seconds to for sign in window. Okay. And it will give me an exception, unable to find the sign in window, and bot will stop here only. It will not go to the next step. Okay. So for handling this all kind of exception, this is very important that we should use the exception in handling in proper way. Okay. So what we are doing, uh, there are two ways to handle the exception. Okay. So what I need to do, suppose if I have to change the workflow in every step, if any of this stage I get the error and I need to change the workflow accordingly, that then I have the recover stage to handle this exception, that any exception in any stage is occurring, then it will go to the recover stage. Okay. And then I have to use the resume, and I have to connect this resume to the next stage, that what I have to do next if I am getting any exception. Okay. So just see this that okay. So I am saying it that if I am getting any exception, just terminate my application. And to terminate application, we have a business object action terminate. Okay. So if, and again, uh, click here, and I'm telling that terminate the application, and after resuming it, launch it again, and the flow will continue. Okay, so just look at this. I'm going it, getting credential, launching it, the application. Here I'm doing it manually to get an exception. Okay, so now I will get an exception. What we'll see, as you can see that after 10 seconds I will get an exception, and it will not stop here. Oh, sorry, I haven't connected this. To connect this. Okay, so after 10 seconds, it has given me an exception, but I have recovered it. Okay, so it will not stop. My bot will not stop here. It will go to the recover stage. Okay, it will terminate the application. As you can see that it has terminated. Then again, it will perform the same task. It will sign in. Okay. Yeah. So this is the way when we want to. This you can say that this is a global exception handling. Like if any error on this particular page, okay, then it will go to recovery stage. But I should not do like this. Like in some condition, I have to do like if I'm getting any exception in launch action, then I have to change my workflow in different direction. And if I am getting any exception in on sign-in stage, then I have to change my workflow in different direction. Okay. So what I need to do for that, I have to create a block. You can see a block stage. Okay. So I have to create a block, and a block should be created is like this, that that particular stage on which you want to handle the exception, it should be inside the block, and your recovery stage should be inside the block. Okay, so it should be like this. Okay, so suppose I am handling this exception for my launch action. Okay, so just let just now see what happens. Okay, here I am again doing the same thing to get an exception. Okay, but now as I have this recovery is not global and the sign-in stage is not inside the block, so it will not go to that recover, and it will throw an error because I have handled exception only for the launch stage. As you can see. Okay, so I want to handle for this, then I have to do it like this, that creating a block over it. and my recovery stage will be in this lock. Okay, then terminate, then resume, then launch again. Okay, so now step over, launching it. Okay, so now it will handle the exception and it will go to the recover stage. Okay, and it will do again. So you have to use this recover and resume stage according to the situation that you, if even I can do the same thing if like this, if on my both stages, if I am getting any kind of error, then the flow should go like this. Okay. Any question in this global exception handling or block exception handling?
Yeah, Nitin got it. So which stage we want that recovery, so that we will put that recovery scenario, that exceptions, we will get the blocks like the stages.
Yes.
What are the launch stage, launch and the signing, what, so both we have to create the stages.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, okay.
Okay. Yeah, one more thing I want to show you that uh, yeah. So as you can see that we have just bubbled the exception from my business object. Okay, because I don't need to handle this exception here, but in some cases, okay, in some cases when I'm trying to log in and I need to change something and I have to retry. Okay, I am writing this kind of logic. Then again, we can handle the exception here, but most probably, like in most of the scenario, we just bubble this exception to the process, and we always handle the exception in process only, because we the process only decide that if I am getting any kind of exception, then in which direction it has to go. So it calls exception bubbling. Okay, like we are handling the exception or throwing an exception here and handling this exception in process. Okay. Okay. So this is again very important topic, and you have to work a lot on it, because according to RPA, a bot should, if it is not working, then it should not work. It should either it should work correctly or it should not work. Okay. So in that manner, you have to handle the exception. It should not do any wrong transaction. Okay. Yeah. So I am taking another very important topic, that is work queue. Okay, work queue is nothing but suppose if I am getting input, or I'm getting, I have to work on 1,000 records. Okay, and I'm getting 10 different Excel files uh, separated like 100 records. Okay, so 100 records each in one single Excel file, and I'm getting 10 Excel files from as input. Okay, and I have to work with all that 1,000 records. Sorry. Okay, so One thing is again a scenario is like if I am having only one boat, we can easily work with that Excel, and we can maintain records that on which records we have worked, or we can set a status in another last column that yeah, this is completed, this is failed, and what exception we are getting in this particular record. Okay, but what we are when we are working with multiple boards, okay, in many of the business application we never use a single board because the number of transaction is very high, okay, per day. So in per day, if I'm getting 7 to 8 thousand records and I need to process in the same day, so I have to we need to install multiple bot on that particular process. Okay, so suppose my 5 bots are working and they are working on the single Excel file. So it's again very difficult to find that on which process or which records have been worked, and if it is again a very too much chances that my first bot is working for the first record, and if and at the same time my second bot is again taking the same record. Okay, so uh, for that particular scenario, the Blue Prism has provided a very strong feature of it, and that is work queues. Okay. So what you need to do whenever we get any kind of inputs, we just collect this input in our work queue. We maintain a queue, and in that there are a lot of features. Just let me show you first that how can we create a work queue. Okay. So again in System tab, in Workflow, we have a work queue option. Okay. So this is very simple. To create any work queue, just click on new. You have to name it here. This is my test queue. Okay. This is the key name. Key name is like this should be unique, and like if I'm let's just let me go. Let me show you that Excel file. Okay. Yeah. So these are my records, and I have to work on that. So as you can see, I have to choose a different unique key. Optional. You can set a unique key, field key or not. It's optional, not required. So as you can see that in this, I have a product code that will be always different. If I want to work on multiple product, then product code will be different. Okay, so I have to provide the same name. What I am going to do is that I am just uh, I just want to put data into my work queue from Excel. Okay. Okay. So I'm creating a product queue here. Sorry, key name is provided or product queue, product code. Sorry. Okay. Even I have some feature to encrypt this. So I'm not using it right now. Clicking on apply. So as you can see that my test queue is created. Okay. So how can I see the records in that work queue? So for that you need to go to Control tab, and in Control tab you can see a option like queue management. Okay, and you will see all the records or all the queues you have created here. So this is my test queue, and I don't have any other records in this. Okay, if you'll see this order work queue and new order system work queue, we have two different work queues. Okay, just let me explain that what are the different fields you have. As I have created the item key product code, so it will show here when I will insert the data from Excel. Okay, there are some tags. This is the right for, as you can see, it's written completed. So all the transaction you have worked successfully, it will show as completed. And here you can see that it's showing me that 2 records are worked, 8 are pendings, 3 are referred, awesome, right? So the 3 dots indicates these are the pending records, and the flag shows the exception records. Okay. We will see another some icons here. One lock is there. So suppose if my any bot has picked that record, I can see a lock icon here. So any other bot cannot pick this particular record. Okay, so that is the benefit of work queues, and even I can get the reports that how many records I have processed successfully and how many exception we occurred, and even you can see the logs as well. Okay, so just you need to click on the right key, right click on it, click on view log. You can see the different log that what stages you have performed and what parameters they have taken, like you have passed the username as what and password is what. So this is the, you can see the log to check that the record is going, the parameter has passed correctly or the exception we got. Even you can change the set status, like this process are completed, these are pending. Okay, yeah, this is the tag. Tag is what, that if you, suppose if I'm getting the file, 5 different files. Okay, and this both are things include that priority and tags. Okay, so I'm getting 5 files for working. Okay, and I have to prioritize this, that on which file I have to work on priority basis. Then I can set this priority. So 0 is the highest priority and then 1 and 2 is the lower priority according to that. Okay. And even I can pass some text to it. I can, when we are adding this record to that work queue, we can pass some text to it. So suppose if I want to work with only one file, then I can filter particular pending records according to this tags. I'll show you that how can we achieve this all things. Okay. So right now I have created a test queue. I just need to copy its name. Okay. So we have already created, I'm just want to show you that, I think, okay. So as you can see that we have created a action for loading the data into my work queue. Okay, so I'm just showing you it, that I have created a input file. Okay, as you can see here, I have created as environment variable, and my file path is same, but the name is, I think, order new.csv. Okay, the same. Okay, so I just want to load this 7 records to my work queue. So I'm just closing it. Okay. So to work with, we have a lot of VBOs or business object, you can say, is provided by Blue Prism only to work with some different tools like if I want to work with Excel or Word. So they already have created some business objects to work with this applications. Okay. So what I need to do, first of all, I just need to open this Excel file. Okay. So we have this business object MS Excel VBO that are provided by Blue Prism only. Okay, and the action is open workbook action. Okay, and here again I need to pass some parameters for file name. I will providing it from credential sorry environment variable, that is my input file, and it will return me the workbook name. So I have to provide a variable here. As you can see that this is my workbook name variable I have provided. Okay. So, so after just opening this Excel, what I need to do, that I need to get this all data. Okay, so for that we have get worksheet as collection action. You have lot of action to work with the Excel. It depends on the situation that what you need to do, and you can achieve anything. Okay, so I'm using the it, and here you have to provide the workbook name which open workbook has returned. Okay, open workbook's output parameter will be used here, and worksheet name as orders. Okay, so you should provide the worksheet name, and it will return all data as collection. So for that you have to create a collection variable. So we have already created data. Okay, and after that you got all the data. Just close the Excel. Okay, so again you have mm, for closing this Excel, you just need to use the action close all instances or close current workbook. Okay, and you have to pass the instance. Okay, so I have done with Excel that I just opened the Excel, I collected the data, and I closed that Excel, and I have all the data in my data collection variable. So I just need to add this to queue. So as you can see that I have for that again we have some internal business objects they have created for work queues. Okay, so I will use this work queue, add to queue option action, and in this you have to provide your work queue name. So here I am providing my new work queue as I have created test queue. Okay, which data you have to load this work queue. So we have our Excel data in data collection variable. So I have to pass this collection data here. Yeah, here you can see that loading any file, we have we can set its priority from here as well. Okay, and we can provide some text to filter. Okay, so right now I am providing a tag that filter and initial status. So I am initial status I am providing it's a pending. Okay, and in output, its output variable, it will give me all items ID. This it creates a dynamically, and it gives all, it returns all the item IDs. Okay, so just let me show you that how it works. Okay, sorry, just need to go here, right click on it, that is next stage, step over. So as you can see that it has okay. does not exist the file. See user. Okay. I think the file path gets changed. I need to change the environment variable. Okay, click on apply. Uh, orders new.csv. Let me check. Okay, why it's not showing me? Let me check that why. File not found on file C. I think there is some name change. Just let me check from here. It's opening. Okay, for the time being, I'm just providing it directly.
Is it Excel file only or CSV file it's open?
No, it works. It works with both or Excel or CSV.
Oh,
Okay, let's see. I think we are missing something in mm, this. Okay, yeah. So I have just opened that Excel file and okay. Okay. So first of all, you need to create an instance, new instance because it's not mm, again we need to Excel VBO. Okay. You need to create instance. This is my action. First of all, I need to create the instance. Okay. And it will give me output with the instance. So I have to pass this instance in everywhere. Okay. Here. Okay, going it again. Sorry. Mm, I need to connect it. Okay. You can click on any stage and start from that stage. For that you need to use the set next stage. Okay. And if you want to stop somewhere, then you can again put a breakpoint here. Okay. So stance created, and you can see that I got the workbook name. Okay. And put the name orders on the workbook. Okay. So let me check the worksheet name. I think it's got changed as orders new. So I have to provide this name as worksheet name. Yeah, here. And again, we need to start from beginning. Created a stance, open it, get data. Okay. So here you can see in my collection variable, when I move to the current values tab, all data from Excel is my in collection variable. Okay. And now I'm just to the work queue. Okay. So in control tab, queue management, uh, here is my queue, and you can see that I have added all the data. Okay, so I have set the priority as 0, okay, status as pending, and tags as has product, and this all records are showing as pending now. Okay, I'm doing it one more time, but with different priorities and different tag. Okay, so when I'm adding the same queue, right now I'm adding it with priority 1. Okay, tags as order, and status as pending. Okay. Clicking on the fresh view. Yeah. So as you can see that I have inserted this file at 2 times with different priorities and different tags. Okay. So this is all about like how to drop data and work queues. Okay. So suppose if you are not working with, if you are not getting input as a Excel file and you are reading any data from like your input is you have to take input from web browser. Suppose you have a request portal and you have to collect the data from request portal and then you have to add to the work queue. Then you have to create a collection variable and you have to pass this suppose just let me do one thing. In that situation, what you need to do, you have to create a collection and I have to add some fields like I am getting request for request ID, request description, and user's name, user. Okay. So request ID I'm taking as number, request text, user as text. So you have to create these fields. Okay. And even you can provide some initial values here. If you are not providing from here, then what you can do after reading this data with a read stage, and you will save uh, into some variables, then you have to use that multi calculation. And here you can see that in the collection, my column 1, I can pass the values from here, that in call user I have to pass this variable to use test ID and name. Okay. So and here I can use any variable or anything. Okay. So if I want to use some variable, then I can pass from here that whatever I am getting in file name, just save it in call1 user. So you have to create this, you have to pass all your details into this collection, and then you can pass this collection to work queue. Okay. Okay. So this is all about this just dropping the data into work queues. Okay. And if you will go through different actions of this work queues, you will see there are a lot of options they have. Like you can set mark item as completed, mark as exception, you can update its status. So we will use all this functionality when we will work on that work queue. Okay, so here again I have created some example. Okay, that how to this is like what we have learned is how to put data into work queues, and the next step is to uh, work with these records which are in work queue. We need to get the data from work queues, and according to the data we have to work. Okay, in the same way we have done some so for getting the data from work queue, we have again work queues object. We have some action is called get next item. Okay, so it can be again conditionally then how to retrieve this item. Okay, yeah. So you have to provide some inputs here. First of all, that queue name, from which queue you have to get the next record. Okay, and here you can see that we have some key filter and tag filter. So tag filters are that only which we have provided in the tag. So suppose if this is my work queue. Okay, and I just want to work with this data which has tags hash order, and I don't want to work with this hash product tags data. Okay, although it's pending cases, but I don't want to work on that right now. So what I can do, this is the key filter is this, which I have provided in item key. So suppose if I just want to work with this particular record ABC-123, then I just need to copy that ABC-123 and I can use it in key filter like this. Okay. So then it will pick only that particular record, and after that it will give me that there is no any other record in work queue. Okay. So just try it. My test queue is my name, sorry, not process queue. Just need to copy it. Okay. So in get next item, I am taking this, and this is my work queue. Okay, right now I am not using any tag filter. Okay, so as you can see that we have given this record 2 times in my test queue. We have ABC123 with hash order, and we have ABC123 for hash product. Okay, so it will return this both cases. It will work with 2 cases. Okay, and if I want to work with only item key with ABC123 and tag with hash order, then I can again give it hash order here. Okay, so right now I'm just not using it. Okay, okay, okay. So next step is after checking this all, we need to check that there is any item we have queried in this work queue or not. Like we as we have queried that find the item with key filter ABC123. So it will find me 2 records, and it will again check. So after the third time, it will give me that item ID is not exist. So we have to check this condition that trim item ID, because it's returning item ID, as you can see here in output. It will return the item ID, the data, and its record data, and the status of that data. Okay, so I need to check this item ID, that if it is blank, it means that I don't have any records in work queue according to my query. Okay, and yeah, here after working on that particular record, you can set the status of it. So I'm just updating its status as complete. Okay, and I have to pass the same item ID here. Okay, and here I have to mark it as a exception either, or I have to mark it as completed. So I'm using here my mark completed, and I have to pass the item ID here. Okay. And after doing that, I need to check again for the next record. So that's why I have created a circular path. Okay. So it will go again and check until it will not stop, or there is no any other pending record according to my query. So just let me show you that. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting item. Okay. As you can see that I did not get any item. Is there any issue with queue? Okay. Have we provided test queue and ABC? I think this is not matching. Okay. There is more space or little bit. I'm just copying from here. Yeah, I have given the space. That's why I did not find it. Okay. Okay. So you can see that it's showing me the item ID. The status is pending, and this is my data which I retrieved. The product code is ABC123, quantity 22, and 103. Okay. So just after picking that record, you can see here, clicking on refresh, that I got a lock sign. It means that this record is picked by my bot. So you can see that we have one record with the priority 0 and one record with the priority 1, ABC 123. Yeah, this one. So it has picked the higher priority record first. Okay. And here I'm checking that item ID is not equal to 0. So I have some values in item ID. So it will return true. Okay. Uh, Here is my previous status, as you can see, is pending. Okay. So now I am changing it as completed. So you can see that the status is completed. Okay. And till now, if you will not mark it as either exception or as completed, it will be logged only. So after marking it as completed, it will be marked as completed, and the right icon will be shown. As you can see, means I have worked on this record successfully. Okay. In the same way, it will go again and check for another record. It will do the same for that. And the third time, if it will check, as you can see that I am not getting any item ID, and it will stop. Okay. So, so it has worked with two things. Okay. Now I just want to provide that hash product tag. I want to work with all the records which has hash product tag. So I need to remove this, and I will, if I want to record all the things, then I don't need to provide any key filter. Hash product. Okay. I'll check. Now I want to update its status as failed. That all record will failed. Okay. And I want to mark as exception. So I have another action is mark as exception. I have to provide item ID and exception. So what is the exception in that? So right now I'm providing like invalid data. Okay. So right now I'm running in fast mode. Okay. So it have worked on all the data with hash product tag and mark them as exception. As you can see that flag icon is there and status is changed to failed, and sorry, in my text you can see that it's added exception is invalid data. Okay. Okay, any questions regarding this? Like, there are two things are there. Just first you need to load the data into work queue, and second you need to retrieve on condition basis from work queue.
Yeah, fine Nitin.
Okay.
Yeah, fine Nitin. Maybe
Okay.
will we
So when I,
practice will come.
sorry.
We will, and when we will do practice, that will the time we will come like use everything data.
Yes, exactly. Actually, the both topics are very important. So you should practice on that a lot with exception handling
Yeah.
and work use.
Yeah,
Okay.
fine Nitin. Now still fine. Okay. Maybe once I will count a software, I will practice this all stuff.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So I think that's enough for today because a lot of topics we have covered, that credential manager and environment variables and work queues and exception handling and importing and exporting. Okay, so I
Yeah.
think that's enough for today. And a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's good if you practice on that a lot because you will get challenge only when you will practice.
Yeah, really, starting, at least we don't have, I'm starting stage, at least one time also I didn't hands-on like practice. Okay, once I will definitely practice more, definitely I will get also.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.